What is going on, peoples? It's your friendly neighborhood bee monstrosity here for my first ever Q&A, and possibly my last ever Q&A, because after I answer these questions here, I probably will be banned from YouTube. But big thank you to everybody that participated. I received almost 50 fucking questions, and I'm going to try my best to answer all of them. So big thank you to everybody that participated, and also big thank you to Sergeant Ghost for inspiring me to do this Q&A. If you haven't seen his yet, be sure to go check it out. Funny as fuck. And speaking of Sergeant Ghost, also in the background you will be watching some hardcore domination gameplay, starting off with a nuke with the msmc, and then I will be proceeding to use it as, use gameplay as filler. But let's go ahead and jump into these questions. I'm going to start off on Twitter here. Question from J at J underscore Dowd, which is a part of the Dad's clan. He asked, what is your favorite ever weapon from Call of Duty, past or present? Now, I did answer this question on our roundtable, but I'll do it. I'll step in line with Sergeant Ghost and just go ahead and break it down for each of the Call of Duty games. First and foremost, Call of Duty 4, that would have to be the Gold Deagle. I love that fucking gun. So much fun to play with. Not really the most tactical weapon to use, but so much fun to play with. Modern Warfare 2, it would have to be the Mini Uzi. Absolutely. I just had so much fun playing with that. Then Black Ops 1, I think I skipped World at War, but I didn't even play that. But anyways, Black Ops 1, the Python, because it's a shitload of fun to play with again. And let's see, Modern Warfare 3 have to be the MP7, and they finally gave me a submachine gun that could do everything. And in Black Ops 2, fucking nothing, because the game fucking blows. Anyways, well, it was a pre-patched P-dub, okay? Alright, now moving along. Let's see, on questions off of my video, John Smith. Now, I'm not sure if this is a troll or not, but I'll go ahead and answer his questions. Why the fuck did you not play Slender like that one guy said? Well, Slender cost money, and I'm not about to buy a Slender game, and I've looked it up on YouTube, and it doesn't look scary at all to me, but I'm not about to buy a game just to make one video. That would be a waste of money. Contrary to popular belief, I am not making money off of YouTube, either on my own channel or through the HCU. And his second question is, and why yo mama so ugly? Alright. Moving along. The next line of questioning comes from Guggenheim. First question. How do you find the time to game, make YouTube vids, and run the HCU when you have like 30 kids? Well, I'm still nowhere near old dirty bastard as far as the amount of kids that I have. I only have 25. And as far as how do I find time to game and make YouTube vids, well, I don't have a whole lot of time to make YouTube vids. That's the reason I put like one out a month. As far as time to game, I game after everybody goes to sleep, roughly 9 o'clock p.m. Into the night. And run the HCU, I mean, first of all, I don't run the HCU, and second of all, it's pretty much on autopilot. I mean, I have it set up to where whenever I upload a video onto it, it already has all the tags and everything, and if you didn't know you could do that on YouTube, be sure to go check that out. Only thing I really have to do is just plug in the name and the link of the person that made the video. So it doesn't take all that much work, and plus I'm at home every day. I work from home, so that's the reason I started taking over the actual uploads from the HCU, because me and Ghost used to split that responsibility whenever I used to go out to work every day. So I figured, being that I'm at home anyway, I'll just go ahead and take that over and do my part. His next question, Guggenheim. Have you ever utilized a glory hole? Now, this is an interesting story here. A while back, Unknown Brute came over to my house and was like, hey man, you feel like going to the club? And I was like, man, yeah, I mean, I got nothing to do. And this was before I was married. So we went out to a club, and turned out it was one of his kind of clubs. So I was very uncomfortable. And, well, we were standing around. He's like, man, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'm like, okay. So he was in there forever. And he comes out with a big ass grin on his face. And he's like, dude, they got a glory hole in there. Yeah, buddy. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then next thing I know, this 6 foot tall transvestite comes out of the bathroom and winks at unknown brute, and he just giggles a little bit. And ever since then, I've been turned off from glory holes. So no, I have never utilized a glory hole. Next question from Guggenheim. How big is your dick? No homo. Now this is just this is a perfect case of whenever you say no homo after something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not really homo, because that's a pretty homo question. But to answer your question, 4 inches from the ground. Okay, next question. What will happen in the HCU if Ghost is another trash game, or if something like Titanfall destroys COD? Well, that's a very simple answer to that. We'll just make another community channel and transfer over the HCU community to the new community channel and keep the love that we got going on. Very simple. Alright, the next line of questioning is from Double Tap. And his first question is boobs or ass? This is by far the most difficult question that I've been asked. Wow. Beamon likes his women stacked on both ends. But if I had to choose one or the other, man, it would be a coin toss, really. Because it would just all depend on what side she's laying on. I guess I would go with ass and some nice Hershey Kiss titties. Yeah. Okay. Next question from Double Tap. Black Ops 2 or My Little Pony? Now, it depends on what season of My Little Pony. I think the 3rd season was the best. But for right now, yeah, I'm gonna go with My Little Pony, because Black Ops 2 is just fucking horrible. Alright, next question from Double Tap. If whiskey wasn't created, how would you cope? Now, I smoked a good deal of weed back in my heyday, but haven't really been crazy about it here lately. But if whiskey wasn't created, I probably would have committed suicide by now. Probably. Either that or I end up in an insane asylum. Next question from Double Tap. At what age did you start liking women and stop liking men? That would be in utero. And you might want to try that sometime, Double Tap. Alright, next question comes from M2, aka Tigers Play COD. And by the way, a lot of the people that are, the majority of the people that are asking me questions also have their own YouTube channels. So if you haven't checked them out, be sure to go and do that. His question is, why do you live stream with Twitch and not on YouTube using the HCU channel? Well, this is kind of a 2-part question here. First of all, using the HCU channel, why don't we live stream on the HCU channel? Well, we want to just keep it the community channel. If one person live streams, like say for example, if me or Sergeant Ghost live stream on the HCU channel, it would become kind of more of our channel as opposed to the community channel. And if other people wanted to live stream to HCU, it would be taking away from them getting subs on their own channel, which is the whole reason why we started HCU in the first place, is to get people that play hardcore more subscribers, get the word out there about hardcore and whatnot. Now, why do I live stream to Twitch? Because I can't live stream to YouTube. I use the HD PVR2, and they do not have software that will go directly to YouTube yet, like the Elgato does. So, but they're supposed to be doing updates on that pretty soon. And yeah, people have told me XSplit, but I tried XSplit a couple of times and I cannot get the motherfucker to work. There's a very easy way to make the XSplit work, but you gotta pay for it, and I'm not about to do that. Next question is from I Am Money 253. And it's actually a 3-part question, so we'll start with the first one. What was your thought process behind creating or co-creating the HCU? Well, this goes back to when I started YouTube, and for those who don't already know, I started at the beginning of Modern Warfare 2 era. I was introduced to YouTube, or I ran across it, and there was all kinds of big name core commentators out there just dogging the shit out of hardcore. So I wanted to make sure to put out some videos out there to show you how you really play hardcore. And, you know, along with this, you had your machinima. You know, I think Yaush came along later, or I didn't know about Yaush by then. But I was just sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, we really need a hardcore community channel. We need a place where all the hardcore players could come and sit there and talk and give us a name, basically. And I'll get more in detail in that because I have other questions that are similar to that. Where did you learn your networking skills? Well, as you can see by my own channel, I don't network hardly at all on my own channel, okay? Because I've been in it. I've been in the YouTube game since Modern Warfare 2, and I have, what, like 600 subscribers or something, when people like Biblical Reaper have been in the game for a month and already has a grand worth of subscribers. So that would really be the person to ask about networking more than me. However, for the HCU, I did do a lot of networking. And I'll tell you, the easiest way to network is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Okay, so basically, I went out, when the HCU first started, me and Ghost both went out on a mission to find hardcore players and bring them into the HCU. But the easiest way to do that is just to go on other people's YouTube page and comment on their videos. Say, hey man, I like your stuff. Don't leave the generic comment like, you know, good vid, great vid, man, blah, 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 blah. You know, actually get into detail. Show the person that you actually are watching their content, and they will generally return the favor and watch your content. Okay? Very simple. And the third question, when are you and Diana going to make it official? Oh, God. Hold on a second. All right, next question from GMAC. Actually, next line of questioning from GMAC. First question. How did a scrub like you manage to create something as kick-ass as your little son? Well, I don't have time to go over the whole birds and the bees story, but you might want to search it on YouTube or just Google in general GMAC, and you'll figure out how that works. And how does an idiot like you come up with a great idea like the HCU? Well, I touched on that on the I Am Money question, but basically, it was just, I mean, it was very simple. I mean, once you're putting hardcore content out there and you're looking at all the other community channels pop up, it's just a 1 + 1 scenario equals 2. You know, it's, you know, why don't we have our own hardcore community channel? And especially in hardcore, whenever I first started hardcore, and really before the HCU was started, hardcore on YouTube was so sparse, and it was so difficult to find people making hardcore videos that we really needed a place, a home that we could all come together and to share each other's videos. Last part of his question. Surely it was Ghost's idea that you managed to steal and somehow get partial credit. Well, that is true. I steal Ghost's Ghost ideas all the time, and but I'm a keep in line and saying that it was my idea, and he had nothing to do with it whatsoever. I'm just playing. Anyways, second question from GMAC. Where did your wife get such god-awful taste in men, and how did you meet? Well, she got such god-awful taste in men from her father, and then she finally met me and was so lucky to meet me at a party that her friend was throwing. And we partook in extracurricular illegal activity, and it was all downhill from there. Next question from GMAC. Where did you get such god-awful taste in music? And keep in mind, this is coming from GMAC. Okay? Now, I seem to recall people asking me to play music whenever we're in the HCU party because they trust my taste in music. And I seem to remember that every time G-Mac played music in an HCU party, people told him to shut the fuck up. So, that is kind of a difficult question. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Whenever I was a kid, I was probably about 8 years old or so. I grew up with my mother. My dad was never there, blah, 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 blah. But she was a country music fan. So until I was 8 years old, the only type of music that I knew was country music. And then she started dating this gentleman. He later on became my stepfather. But he introduced me to the first ever song I listened to was a Rush song. Now, for those of you that might not know Rush, outstanding drummer, and it was the Presto album, and it was the first song, Show Me Don't Tell Me. And as soon as I heard that, it just clicked. It was like I've been eating slop for about 10 years, and then somebody introduced me to pizza, and then just from then on, I became a music connoisseur. I listened to everything and anything, and that's what created my taste in music now. And I could do an entire video on what makes good music and what does not make good music. But good music is basically created by the person that plays the music. If somebody else is writing somebody's shit, then it's most likely not good music whatsoever. And especially some of the bullshit that G-Mac listens to, like Blink 182, the little whiny, crying bitch shit. There's a difference between putting emotion into your music and just crying like a little fucking girl like G-Mac does. Anyways, next question from him. How does it feel to know that G-Mac is better at everything you love? COD? Yeah, right. Drums? Yeah, right. Sex? Right. Okay, COD, first of all. Motherfucker, I will rape you any day of the week. Wait till Ghost comes out, though, because this fucking connection is boo-boo, and I know how you do on your host. You like to fucking Johnny Cage shadow kick motherfuckers and just disappear and reappear in other places, but that will be proven over the long run. Drums, I've been playing drums for as long as G-Mac has. I kind of want to do a little showdown there. I might have to break out the sticks and dust him off a little bit. But he would never do that, because he's a chump. 6, dude, I got moves that ain't even been registered yet. I haven't even registered them yet. It hasn't even been trademarked yet. I still have an entire book of moves that I haven't even worked on. See, hold on a second. This is my book of sexual maneuvers. And that's volume 1. And there's 8-part volumes. Anyways, and I'm also a master of cunnilingus, which that's interesting too. A side note, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you eat pussy? Like, what the fuck, man? Like you're supposed to be looked down on for going down on a chick." And I just ask people out there, like, dudes out there, and do you like chicks going down on you? Then why the hell wouldn't they like going down on them? You know what I'm saying? And it's also a part of my, I call it the fireworks or the chain reaction. It's a part of maneuver. So you let her on you, you go on her, and then you start plugging away, and it's a chain reaction, and she will eventually, or not eventually, but she will definitely have the greatest time of her life. But that's a different video. Next question. Thoughts on manscaping? Now, I've been married for 11 years, so manscaping's not at the top of my list, but I would say for any of those teenage guys out there, you got to keep your shit groomed, okay? And ain't nothing wrong with having smooth balls every once in a while, too. Man, they feel good in my own hands, okay? Don't be getting any ideas, strychnines. Anyways, next question from GMAC. Does it hang to the left or right, or are you playing center field? Now this really depends on which way I'm walking. If I walk to the left, then it will drag to the right. If I walk to the right, then it'll drag to the left. And of course, if I'm going straight, it'll just drag underneath. Next question from GMAC. Did you try the anal beads Ghost sent? Yeah, Ghost sent me some anal beads. I'm glad I didn't have to pay for shipping, because they're about the size of bowling balls. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with that. Next question from GMAG. How often do you masturbate? Being so lame in the sack, it must be pretty frequent. Now, I was talking to a buddy of mine at my previous work, and he was telling me that his sex drive dropped off after he'd been married for so long. And it is true. I didn't believe him because I was so... my sex drive was fucking ridiculous when I was a teenager, and even through my 20s. But how often do I masturbate? I have a meat sack called a wife, so I don't even need to masturbate. Anyways, moving along. It's me, Diana. Now I'm going to read her Twitter question first. If I can find it. What is the first thing you think of when you wake up? That is very easy. Answer that question. I'm hungry. If you do it right, because you're not supposed to eat late at night, although I do find myself snacking sometimes. So if you do it right and you don't eat after after like, I don't know, 10 p.m. or something, then you're going to wake up feeling rather hungry. So yes, I'm hungry. Alright, anyways. Another question from It's Me, Diana. Where did you get that ridiculous laugh like from? Okay, now for those who don't know, who haven't actually gamed with me, I do this laugh on a regular basis, and a lot of people find it amusing. But where did I get it from? It was actually from my previous job. There was a dude there that didn't do jack shit. And for some reason, he was always on the good side of our head boss, and he never got in trouble with it. Well, he would laugh like, hee 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 hee. So that eventually turned into, he was Scooby-Doo, and he laughed like, so, yeah, we made fun of him on a regular basis because he was being a douchebag. Alright. Next question from Diana. What is an old person like you still doing playing video games? Don't you have any grandchildren to spend time with instead? Now, I grew up in the era where there was video games. I mean, my first console was like an Atari. So I was really, my generation was the first era to be playing video games. So it only makes sense that I would still be playing video games to this day. Now, as far as the grandchildren go, me and his mother are still waiting on GMAC to have children. Maybe if he grows the balls to ask Brittany to marry him, we'll have some grandchildren on the way. Next question from Diana. What are your plans to grow the hardcore community? This is a very, very simple answer to this question. Now, it's crazy how... Well, let me put it this way. The majority of core players are kind of young kids, like early teenage years, stuff like that. And what they see on YouTube is automatically their perception of the game. So if they see these big name YouTubers talking about hardcore as a bunch of campers, then that's where they're going to think hardcore is. So basically what we just need to do is we just need to get the word out there. The majority of core players that come over and play hardcore with a good team that aren't a bunch of douchebags love hardcore, and they dig it. So basically all we need to do is just spread the word, get it in front of their faces, show them that how to play hardcore, first of all, and how hardcore is a great game mode to play, and then it'll just chain reaction from there. Then people start playing hardcore. But basically, the plans to grow the hardcore community is just to spread the word, actually get people to try hardcore, and it'll just go downhill from there, because we already know it's a great game mode to play. The majority of us have been playing it for years and years and years, and have never looked back to the core. aspect of that game. Okay, next question. Why are you always hating on Diana? Is it because she's better than you at COD? When are you going to admit that she's better than you despite the hashtag wireless? What are you going to do when she's still better than you at COD Ghosts? Now, this is a extremely laughable question. And yes, Diana's a good player. Better than me? Hell no. Okay? I've been wrecking fools since COD 4, and she's got that wireless connection. If she had to play on my connection on Black Ops 2, you know, not even accounting the new bullshit that's been coming out on Black Ops as far as the connection goes. If she had to play on my connection for one day, she would break her fucking CD, throw it out the window. Okay? Just wait till Ghost comes out. Ghost will be on the dedicated servers, and it'll be a level playing field, and motherfuckers won't be walking through my shit. Okay? So, anyways. Diana. Another question from Diana. Why are you all over G-Max nuts? Is it because you're attracted to annoying, unsporting douchebags? Well, G-Mac is a good friend of mine, and he's the type of person, we're kind of cut from the same cloth, so to speak. He's the type of person I would have hung out with in high school. I would have beat him up for his lunch money, stuff like this. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question from Diana. Which HCU member have you known the longest? Now, that's an easy answer to a question right there. That would be Monkey Rage 427. He was following me back in the day that I had like no subscribers. Nobody knew who the fuck I was. Back then he was Tip, whatever the fuck numbers he put behind it. But yeah, he's been my buddy for a very, 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 very long time. Anyways, next question. Okay, Strignon's asked a bunch of questions, so I'll save that one for when I get to the rest of his. Next question is from RDG Dynamic, aka the Dick Pic Collector, and he asks, when did you realize you were a homosexual? Now, this is an interesting story that I've never told anybody. Back in the day when I first entered puberty, I think I was 5 or 6, I was walking down the street, and I happened just to glare over to the right, and I noticed a dude over there. I'm like, wow, you know, he's pretty handsome. And I turned away, then I glanced back over, and I saw him again. I was like, holy shit, you know, I've never had these feelings about another dude. Well, it turns out I was looking at my reflection, and so as far as being homosexual, no, but I would do the fuck out of myself. Okay, anyways, moving along. Next question from Chris Short. How long have you been sucking Ghost's dick? If it's not obvious by now, Ghost is definitely a bottom. So that answers that question. How are those anal beads working out? Like I said, Ghost can take a lot more punishment than I can. So they're not working out all that well. Okay. Ghost said the bigger the better. So can you take a light bulb in the ass? No, I can't. But there are videos of Strychnine out there that he actually took in a complete fluorescent bulb, you know, from warehouses. So you might want to check that out. It's very gruesome, and it'll turn your stomach. And he said, "Love you, you guys, and you're funny as hell." Yeah, we know you're joking around, Chris Short. Okay. Next question is from one of my new subscribers. His name is Norfar PS3. So welcome aboard. He says, "Do you like mayonnaise?" Now this is interesting because back, I think it was the 1990s, there was kind of a joke going around that that black people didn't like mayonnaise, and if you like mayonnaise, then you were definitely fucking Wonder Bread white. But yes, I do like mayonnaise, and you know, you'd be surprised about how many people do not like mayonnaise, but they love ranch dressing. And guess what ranch dressing is? It's 99% mayonnaise. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, mayonnaise is good. Especially, now, a lot of people, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I like cooking, too. Not on a regular basis, but one thing about mayonnaise, if you put it on your burger, it'll protect your bun, okay? So you, like, layer some mayonnaise, and you don't have to worry about your bun getting all soggy. That's the reason, most of the time, that they put mayonnaise on cheeseburgers and whatnot. Anyways, next question, line of questioning, comes from the Real Blue Goose. The Real Blue Goose. And he says, have you ever met a girl with a big butt and an itty-bitty waist? And I don't mean just any girl, but one that the other brothers can't deny and not got sprung. I've always got sprung when I had that round thing in my face. And, yeah, so, there you go. Next question from the Real Blue Goose. While Ghost and you were walking on the beach, do you drink pina colada while in the rain? And this is kind of a ridiculous question. First of all, we wouldn't be walking out in the rain. And second of all, it wasn't pina coladas, it was sex on the beach. Alright, speaking of Sergeant Ghost, next line of questioning comes from him. In 3 inches or less, explain why Sergeant Ghost is your favorite friend with benefits. Now, 2 inches. Okay, I think he's kind of giving himself some credit there. It's like a cute little baby dick. I mean, it's adorable. Anyways, next question from the Sergeant Ghost. What do you think the hardcore community needs to become more mainstream? Now, I kind of touched on that in the last question. And hold on, let me take a drink here. Alright, kind of touched on that on the last question that was asked. But basically, we just need to get in front of people's faces. That's it. Just like I said, there's a lot of core players that would love hardcore if they actually didn't have that stigma embedded in their brain to say that hardcore is bad. We just need to lift that stigma and actually put it out in front of people's faces and say, here's what hardcore really is. Try it out. And if we could get them to try it, then the majority of core players would love hardcore. Alright, next question. In 5 words or less, why do you think Diana steals everyone's tags? Okay. Diana is a woof woof. Okay? Alright, next question. Outside of making illegal moonshine in the NC woods, what is your favorite pastime? Well, moonshine is in the wintertime. We grow chronic during the summer. Oh, shit. I mean, I would never make moonshine. What is my favorite pastimes? Well, I've been married for 11 years, so I don't do a whole lot. My favorite pastime is peace and quiet, and you'll learn this, Ghost, once that baby comes along. However, in the past, I like to play basketball. That was always good fun. I'm interested in martial arts, and I could do a complete video about that. I'd like to start sparring here pretty soon with a buddy of mine that lives a little ways away. Yeah, besides YouTube and Call of Duty and, hanging out with my friends, those are some interests that I have. And also, I do like to cook. I haven't been cooking a lot lately, but I make a killer ass fucking cheesecake. I'm not much of a baker, but I love cheesecake, so I learned how to make it, and everybody seems to like it. It's actually got a brownie crust on it. Like, I take a brownie mix, and I've actually made it from scratch too before, but I layer it to where brownie's on the bottom, and then it's got white chocolate cheesecake on top. It's fucking awesome. And then, not to mention, I could cook a steak like a badass. But, all that good stuff. I love cooking because it, puts smiles on people's faces, and it's something that everybody can enjoy. But anyways, next question is from Nomad Raptor. He says, "Do you lyle your men preppy or rugged?" I think I lyle my men that know how to spell. Okay, next question. Monkey Rage. If you met... This question's from Monkey Rage 427, my good buddy. If you met Vincent van Gogh, how long would it take to cut his ear off? That's a two-part question. I'll go ahead and answer this part. I live in Kernersville, North Carolina. The mean streets of K Vegas, as we call it. And you know I stay strapped with that Ginsu, so that motherfucker's other ear that he hadn't already chopped off will be off in a heartbeat. Because I'm strapped like that, son. Alright. Second question. Why do we teach kids that violence is not the answer, and then have them read about wars in school that solved America's problems? Now, this is a complicated question, and one of my favorite questions that were asked. Now, before there was wars back in the day that were completely necessary, like the war against Hitler, World War I, World War II, our war against Britain to claim our independence. These were wars that were necessary. Now, wars nowadays are not really necessary. Now, I know this is going to be controversial, possibly, you know, with the vets like Sergeant Ghost and stuff like this. But nowadays, America is run by very wealthy people. And I'm not talking about the president. I'm not talking about the Congress. I'm talking about the people that are over them, the people that are paying them to do their bidding. And war is extremely profitable. There's people making millions and billions of dollars off of war out there. So they will look for any reason to start a war that they could possibly think of. So therefore, why do we teach our kids that violence is not the answer? Because they don't want the kids to be violent towards them. They want the kids to unite and be violent towards other people. So that way, they keep making money. They don't have any problems with people interrupting their money flow. But yet, we'll all fall in line and just do as we're told. Now, some bullshit, you should definitely check out some documentaries on these subjects, one of which is called Four Horsemen. Highly suggest you check that out. And another one of my favorite documentaries is called Zeitgeist, and go check that out too. But the more you look into the corruption of the government, the more it pisses you off, and the more that you'll actually see my point of view here. People make tons and tons of cash off of war, off of other people's suffering. And yes, we did have wars in the past that were completely understandable, that we needed a fight. But nowadays, we could just send a fucking SEAL team in like they did Osama bin Laden. We could just send a team in there, take the head off of the snake, and it'll be over and done with. There is no reason whatsoever that we need to send in a huge army of people and then have our countrymen dying over some bullshit. But that is my point of view, and kind of got off on a tangent here. But the reason that they teach nonviolence is because they don't want a revolution in the country, which we are kind of in dire need of, because our country is pretty fucking corrupt at the moment. That's the reason why we re-elect a president, you know, every 4 years. But it still goes back to the same fucking thing, because you can't re-elect the 1% of the people that are running the whole fucking show. They will stay there until their money bleeds dry, which is not going to happen anytime soon, and until they can't get away with it anymore. Which, in that case, we'd have to bring a whole new understanding to the majority of people in the United States and actually shine light on this bullshit. Like, for example, the Wall Street shit. Now, that was controversial right there, but it's completely understandable. If you look what happened in the stock market crash, if you look into that, it will piss you the fuck off. The things that the banks were getting away with, and then they got off scot-free. We gave them extra money. We gave them more money after they fucked everything up so that they can fix it. I mean, it's just, oh, it'll piss you off. It'll really piss you off. Highly suggest you go check out documentaries on the subject. Anyways, next question. It's from the Saint Lucifer. Who do you enjoy team killing more, Diana or GMAC? Damn. This is about as bad as the boobs or ass question. I would probably have to say Diana because she kills me, I'd say, about 4 times a night. So anytime that I could return that favor is a good day. Okay? Now, next line of questioning is from BLS Strict Nines, which is an avid homosexual supporter. He has been in several rainbow parades, and but he's been very lonely since he got out of prison and he had to leave his jail mate. Anyways, his first question. If I were to fist your butthole, would I sink into the elbow or to the shoulder? Now this kind of goes in the same line as his other question. How many dicks do you normally suck before you get a tummy ache? Now, I understand where this line of questioning is going. Strict Nines is very competitive. So I'll just tell you right now, you win. Okay, if you can fit anything more than a pinky, the tip of your pinky finger in your butthole, then you win Strict Nines. Okay, I know that you've had a lot of practice when you were in jail, and how many dicks do you normally suck? That's not a question you want to ask me. I know you're trying to ask that question because you want to know if you're doing it right. But I do not have the answer to that question, so you might want to go check the Little Kim forums, and that would provide you answers to your question there. Okay, now next question. Do you prefer your next question from Strict Nines? Do you prefer your vibrators bedazzled or plain? Now, I don't personally have any vibrators, but my woman does have vibrators, and for those of you that have been married for several years out there, this is a good tool to use in the bedroom. It would get you giggities, not for the men, but for the women to use for the women. It's a pretty nice tool to get her extremely ish. Anyways, next question. It's from a no dude that I met through Biblical Reaper's Twitch. Yeah, his live stream. His name is Hey It's Problem, and he asked me, "Do you only like hardcore?" Now, he's a new subscriber of mine, so he hasn't seen me for the longest time like other people have. And yes, I do only like hardcore. Ever since Call of Duty 4, whenever I actually opened the hardcore option on the game, I was there with my buddies, and they were like, "Hey, let's try out this hardcore thing." And we went over there, we tried it out, we loved it, and we haven't turned back since. I haven't played core in any Call of Duty, except like the Infinity War Call of Duties, which cause you to unlock hardcore. Okay, so I had to grit and bear it and play core until I unlocked hardcore. But in the majority of the time, we had a buddy that had already unlocked hardcore, and he would just send you an invite, and we could go straight into hardcore. But yes, I do love hardcore, and I will never go back to core. I've tried it. I don't hate core. All is well and good if you like core, but it's just more of my style. I personally think that you shouldn't be able to put 2 bullets in somebody's back, and they can just turn around and hit you with a headshot and kill you automatically. I think that back in the day in COD 4, it was more of a tactical, like, war game, and then core has turned into this, I don't know what to call it. I mean, you can jump around corners, and because they don't put the 3 bullets in your forehead, they put it in your chest, that you know, you can halo jump somebody and kill them easily. I think I prefer the tactical aspect of it, to where you have to think about what you're going to do. You can't just run out in the open and take bullets and then end up killing somebody because your gun is more overpowered than theirs. So, yes, I do love hardcore, and I will always be a hardcore player no matter what. Okay, last and final question is from my boy AR Gunsmoke. If I could find it here to read it. It's on my Twitter, so I have to find it here. Damn it, I was going to read it word for word. Where is it? Where is it? Where it is? Sorry, guys. Here we go. Hey, Bimon. If you got your wish to be a chick for a day, what would be the first thing that you do? Now, I answered this question pretty quickly, and it's a very easy answer to this question. Play with the goods. Absolutely. I'd probably spend about, 2-3 hours playing with the goods, and then I would get my Elmer Fudd on. Shh, I'm hunting lesbians. Yes, I would go out searching for lesbians, and enjoy that also. So, I hope that answers your question. But definitely would play with the goods for a long amount of time. It's fun playing with it from the outside, and it would be even better to have those there that you don't have to worry about all that cuddling and shit afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Alright, guys, thank you for everybody that asked me questions. Even the douchebaggy ones like Strict9. And, I hope I answered all you guys' questions, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a like, and all that other bullshit. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace the motherfuck out.